Oh my god, I'm still alive. Hello everybody, I know it has been a time and a half since you've seen me on this channel, but I promise I'm still here, and I have so many good video ideas coming down the pipe for you guys in the coming 2025 year. Happy New Year from me. I mean, where am I but in my office chair? There are no kids in the school. I don't have camp till weeks from now. I'm just chilling at school. I remember how much you guys loved all the book talk tropes videos. So this is like an offshoot of that. I was brainstorming of what to give you that was like juicy book talk tea and K-pop boy nonsense. What I came up with in my brain stems from something that I probably know way too much about, and that's fan fiction. One thing about me is I read too much fan fiction, and I also write a lot of fan fiction. Like lots of fangirls, I got drawn into the webs of fan fiction at a very early age on Tumblr and fanfiction.net. Ayo, if you remember that, you were in the trenches with me. Of course, our Lord and Savior, AO3. But recently, in the last year, I have discovered the pinnacle of personalized fanfiction writing, and that's ChatGPT. She just gives. She gives whatever you want her to give. It started one fine spring day in 2024 when I asked it, could you write a fanfiction? And it said, sure, what do you want it to be about? How long? But at the end of the day, the fanfiction that I like the best, or that makes me go like, ah, is more original than that. In all my book talk trope videos, lots of the comments were very overwhelmingly positive about my imagination. Today I plan to combine the two fanfiction superpowers, my intense level of K-pop brain rot, and ChatGPT. This will be part 1. If you guys like this video, let me know and I'll come back and do a 17 one. But for today, I'm gonna do ENHYPEN. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to give me a member of ENHYPEN and a book talk trope. And then with my unique processing abilities, I will mush them together and make for you a lovely scenario that you can think about when your head hits the pillow at night. I'm excited to see what I get, because I was wilding out last time I did this. This is no longer me deciding what I think they would fit into. It's ChatGPT randomly generating them. So I'm gonna have to fuse these members with their trope the best of my ability. They might not fit necessarily, but I'm gonna do my damnedest to squish them together. Pull something out that's good for you guys, that you guys think is interesting. Let me know down in the comments if you like them. Let's get into it. 3, 2, 1. Here she is. Say, hey girl. Hey there, what's up? Let's start with ENHYPEN.
Please give me a member of ENHYPEN and a book trope.
Who am I gonna get? Sunghoon and enemies to lovers with forced proximity. Oh my gosh. I want to read that right now. Okay, let me really think. So you have Sunghoon, who's sometimes aloof, but also kind of silly and funny. And then you have YN, who's whatever you want her to be. Enemies to lovers with forced proximity. That is specific, but also there's so many choices we could go. We could go prisoners in a cell. We could go locked in a house. We could go trapped in a car. Only one bed. Oh my gosh, I nailed it. I nailed it. You guys, I've nailed this. You know, if you know anything about me, if you know me, you know I love a fantasy story of any type. I am currently DMing a D&D campaign, finally. So I'm in fantasy brain. So I just thought of something great. Real world, toss her to the side. We are fantastical D&D people. We have human rogue YN. We have elven wizard Sunghoon. Sunghoon owns a magic shop. Follow me here. Follow me here. He owns a magic shop. Human rogue tries to steal from the magic shop. Sunghoon catches YN. He tears back her hood.
You've stolen from my magic shop.
Tries to cast a spell. They're both at the same time caught by the enforcers of the D&D town and then thrown into
Prison.
Thrown into like a cell in the town square. Not like full prison, but like tossed into a holding cell to be
Dealt with.
at a later time. But it's a small town because lots of D&D towns are small. It's like a level 1 D&D town. And they are forced to sit in this cell, like angry, like
You stole from my shop.
And you tried to cast a spell on me.
like very that. And then say that the town is kind of logistically behind. So they're in this cell overnight. And then they're in the cell a second night. And on the second night, there's only enough porridge for one. And Wizard Sunghoon is like,
Fine. You take the porridge.
and you're like,
No, you take the porridge. I don't need your pity.
and he's like,
Ugh, you're so annoying. What is it with you petty thieves? Now you have honor.
or something. Like, he's trying to be all like, high and mighty. Fight, fight, fight. And then he's eventually like,
Why are we trying to steal from my shop anyway?
and you're like,
I needed this item for my quest. Or I needed this item to save someone else.
and he's like,
Oh my gosh. I never knew you were so complicated.
in this little like sheriff's jail thing. And then by the time you're let out, he's like,
We can save that person together. Let's go accomplish a quest together. Fine, I'll help you, you stupid rogue. I'll help you, stupid rogue.
and you're like,
Oh, I don't need your help, wizard.
but then he helps anyways. And so it starts off forced proximity and enemies to lovers. I think the lovers will happen as they go on their quest. That's what I want. That is a lot. Let me know what you guys think about that one. That's a little bit off the wall. I don't know where that came from, but I'd read it. I'd read it. Yep. 2 nights in D&D prison, and then they go on a quest, and they have to form their love bond on the quest. So it starts forced proximity and then becomes more enemies to lovers as they go through. I'm into that. I would read that. I'd write it. If you guys want me to write any of these out, let me know. We were always talking about starting a Patreon. So if you guys want something like that, let me know. And I can always write these fan fictions as little like quick excerpts, and we could put them on a Patreon for you guys if you wanted to read them. You let us know down in the comments. Okay, Sunghoon, enemies to lovers with forced proximity. I like that one. Love it. Hit me again. Did you guys see that? Heeseung, fake dating to real feelings. I love a fake dating. I love fake dating. So YN, there's no YN. It's Heeseung and Ally. Heeseung X Ally. Heeseung, me and my man. Why are we fake dating? We're not. We're just in love. You know what I'd love? I never watched the movie Anyone But You, but I think it was kind of like this, but I have it in my brain. He's like in a suit, and I'm just going to follow that where it leads me, which is you are the maid of honor at a wedding. He is the best man at the wedding. You guys don't love each other, but you're both, I think it's going to kind of be an enemies to lovers. A little sprinkle. No, I nailed it. I got it. I'm working through it. It's still wedding. You're still the maid of honor. He is still the best man. But instead of what I was gonna say, he has an ex. The ex is in the bridal party with you. You don't really know her. She's friends with your friend who's the bride, but you don't really know her. And that's Heeseung's ex. And she can't stand him. She's like, oh my God, he's so annoying. I can't deal with him. And then you're like, why'd you dump him? She's like, he was such a loser, always like mean things that aren't real. They clearly seem not real. And then you have an ex, and your ex, no, I got it. So you are maid of honor. Heeseung is not best man. He is assorted other groomsmen. My ex, YN's ex, is the best man. And he's just like a douchebag. And Heeseung only met this best man in the bridal party. So he doesn't know him very well. He's like, this guy sucks. This guy fully sucks. And when you meet for the like stag and dough, what's it called, like the bachelor party thing, you meet at that, and you're talking to all of the groomsmen, and your ex is being like terrible, so annoying, horrible. Heeseung sees this going on. He's like,
that guy sucks.
So you're like,
He does totally suck.
best man has like a new girlfriend, and she's also sucks, like they suck together, and you're like, oh
Yeah, he's my ex. He's just so terrible. It really burns me up to see him acting like he's all happy when he really hurt my heart and was terrible to me.
Heeseung's like,
Well, how about just for this wedding, we can act like we're dating. So he can like stop talking to you, like he can leave you alone, and you can have a reason not to talk to him.
and you're like,
That's crazy.
What about crazy? Like, let's try crazy.
and he rolls up his sleeves and he pulls his tie loose, and it's giving like wedding tea. And so you guys are like, fine, we're gonna start dating. And so that during all the bridal planning and stuff, you can just talk to Heeseung and not have to deal with your ex. And so you guys are like, oh my gosh, pretending to date, hiding behind the flowers, and eating all the test cake, because you're like really close to the bride. You like test the cakes and all that. And then by the wedding, he asks you to dance, and then you fall in love. And your ex is like,
I want you back.
and you're like,
No, I'm in love now with Heeseung.
that's what I think. That's my scenario. That's what I'm saying. I like that. Again, very detailed, very specific, but that's kind of the best way to go through these, I think, is to like really go through it down like a rabbit hole. So that's the whole plot of the whole thing. Like, that's not just the prompt. I'm given the prompt, and then I make up the thing. Do you hear what I'm saying? Okay, love it. I'm gonna say slay. Another. Ooh, okay, Jake plus Grumpy and Sunshine with a slow burn. Jake is the Sunshine, obviously. Jake's not the Grumpy. So YN is the Grumpy. Why would you have a slow burn with a Grumpy and Sunshine? That actually makes so much sense. Of course you would, because the Sunshine's like, they're like friends, and the Grumpy gets let out of their shell finally by the Sunshine. But what is the scenario in which I will dress this? I have a really, really obscure one. You guys might have to follow me on this. I don't know if this is something you guys would want to read. I just thought it. Because I can see in my brain, kindergarten teacher Jake. Sweet boy, good with kids, super fun and bubbly. Single mom, grumpy YN. This is my dream. This is my dream. Not my dream. You are YN. Your husband, cheater. He left you. Tragedy. That's why you're grumpy. You're not just grumpy because you were always grumpy. You used to be more sunshine. And then in being scorned and being mistreated, you've developed a grumpy heart and a untrusting heart, and your child is pretty young. So you put them into kindergarten and you move to a new city. Go to this new city. Move to Australia. You move to Australia and put your kid in kindergarten. And it's like a really nice place with fun colors and good nature. And the teacher is this like very handsome, very similarly aged to you, sunshine boy who's so kind and sweet. You see him and you're like,
This guy's too bright. I can't. I don't want to talk to him.
but he's a great teacher. And your kid is just in the class for like the year and you like know him casually. Your kid always comes home talking about like, oh, Mr. Jake is so nice. Mr. Jake is so sweet. Mr. Jake is so fun. You're like,
Whatever about Mr. Jake. I'm grumpy. I'm trying to grieve my previous relationship and move on and heal.
but I don't want to go out, put myself out there. And then one day you're like at the parking lot of the kindergarten and your car won't start. It's better when they're more complicated, I think. And of course, you're like,
Grumpy, kick the tire. I'm so frustrated. I can't start my car.
ah. And then of course, out of the kindergarten, about to leave, comes Sunshine Mr. Jake. He's like, Mrs. your last name?
I can handle it myself.
Okay, I can see that you can.
And then you're like, no, actually, can you help me? He's like,
Of course I can.
and then he helps. You're like, no, my kid's teacher, I won't. So it's slow burn. But from then you were like, wait, Mr. Jake's kind of cute. And so you like think he's really cute, but you don't do anything because he's your kid's teacher. And then eventually, maybe your kid was like about to graduate kindergarten, like you're about to go to normal, elementary school. So your kid, there's like kindergarten graduation and your kid graduates kindergarten. And you're like,
Thank you, Mr. Jake, for everything you've done all year. Really appreciated you. Thank you for bringing sunshine into my kid's life.
and you're like still grumpy, but you're like nice to him. Your kid gives him like flowers because it's like cute graduation, meh, meh, meh. He sort of looks at you and is like, you're smiling more. And like has noticed that you've sort of a little bit brightened. He asks you out and you're like, you're my kid's teacher. He's like,
Like, not anymore.
because your kid is done. And he's like,
I always noticed you, but I thought it was inappropriate to make a move on a parent, so I never did that. But now I'm just a boy sitting in front of a girl asking her on a date.
energy. You'll say yes. And then you guys start very casually, very slowly dating. The slow burn turns to a flame eventually. What do you think about that? That's what I think. Because I was like, slow burn. There's so many ways to do a slow burn, but that's like a very slow burn. That's like a year-long plus slow burn. But that's 3 out of 7. I'm gonna do one more. If you guys like this video, please let me know in the comments. And I will, of course, make a part 2 with the rest of ENHYPEN and other groups if you guys are interested in doing that. Sounds good. One more time. Did you see that? What if I start crying? Jay, childhood friends to lovers with a touch of unspoken pining. Jay is so friends to lovers coded. Jay is so childhood friends to lovers coded. Unspoken pining. Jay is pining for you. Of course. He gives pining. He gives like, I held a candle for her. I held a torch for you my whole life. And I never wanted to ruin our friendship. Okay, where did you guys meet? Why are you friends? Because friends to lovers is easy enough. Honestly, friends to lovers is my favorite trope. I think it tops enemies to lovers because in your real life, like imagine what you would actually want. I would want a friend to a lover. I don't want to fall in love with my enemy. Because even if you fall in love with your enemy, they go from your enemy to your friend to your lover, probably, in real human like life. So I like friends to lovers a lot. Childhood friends to lovers, that is the tea that I live for and that I brew every morning. Let me weave a web here. Okay, I have an idea. It isn't the most groundbreaking idea, but it's what I really would like to read with Jay. I think he'd be perfectly suited for it. So you live on a little cul-de-sac. For those of you who aren't familiar, cul-de-sac, street, just one circle. All the houses are like this. I'm sure everybody knows what a cul-de-sac is. And Jay was opposite your house in the cul-de-sac. And so you were always like, all the kids in the cul-de-sac were like friends growing up. And of course you and Jay were friends. And say you have like a brother and Jay was like good friends with your brother. But you guys all played together. When you were little, you were like, oh, Jay, we're gonna get married one day. And he was like, ew, no, that's gross. Thought of him as your friend your whole life. And like, you watch him grow up and he watches you grow up, and he has girlfriends and you watch him have girlfriends, and you have boyfriends and he watches you have boyfriends. And you guys are always sort of like a close familial friend type relationship. And then you guys get to high school and you are friends in high school-ish, but like, doesn't feel the same as it used to feel. And then you both go away for college to different colleges. And you're like, oh, I always thought he was really handsome, but I guess I'm never gonna see Jay again. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I had, in my head, I was gonna be like, and then you come home from college and then you get together. But I've changed my mind. I love many things in this life. Very few things do I love more than children's cartoon and programming. Love it. Kids cartoons, absolutely. One of the best ever, Phineas and Ferb. If you don't agree, the door is over there. Like, if you don't agree, Phineas and Ferb is the one, the T. And they did an episode called Act Your Age, in which they go off to college and they're like grown. And Phineas and Isabella, spoilers. Spoiler alert for those of you who haven't watched Phineas and Ferb Act Your Age. It's been out for years, and also who cares? But anyone who's watched Phineas and Ferb knows Isabella loves Phineas. And Phineas loves Isabella also. And in this, it was revealed that they always sort of like went in and out of loving each other. And then she's about to go off to college and go follow her dreams. And he's like, what? I never knew you liked me. And everyone has told him like, bro, she liked you the whole time. And he's like, oh my gosh, I gotta catch her before she leaves. And so he goes and catches her, and she's sitting on the curb by their house. And then they're like, oh, well, bad timing. And then she leaves. And then they like chase her down in the car and get out of the car, and then they kiss. And then they're gonna be together. So that's but with Jay. Oh my gosh, he chases you down in the car and he's like,
Wait, don't leave. I never told you. I love you. We should be together.
and then you kiss right before you go off to college. That's a great one. Right before you go off to college and you go to the same college. It's like, I've loved you all my life. And he's like, you're like, I loved you all my life. And you go to college together. And you're both pining secretly. Jay was pining harder. In this situation, I think Jay was the Isabella, but you're the one leaving. Like, you're the one leaving first, but Jay was the Isabella. So he was pining like more, but you just never saw it because as a kid, he was like, ew. And so you were like, whatever, I guess. But you always like carried a torch. And then when he was like, I always loved you, you're like, I always loved you. Mwah. Mwah. Amazing. That was 4 scenarios for you guys. If you liked this, let me know in the comments. I will love to do more of them for you. But today we're going to cut it off there so I don't ramble at you for an hour. This was a good place to stop, I think. I had a lot of fun. Let me know if you guys want to see more of these, and also if you want to read them. I'd be happy to whip them up for you with my little typing fingers. And also, very much, I'm back on the channel. I've been very behind on video editing and posting and making, but I'm here, ready to make more things for you guys and spend more time with you in 2025. Yeah. So, like, comment, subscribe. I will see you next week. Love you so much.